Among the best components of a good sales framework is a good sales framework should have well-documented products. There should be a component of audience mapping. Each of the product, have you mapped it with the particular audience? Then look at those audiences and then ask yourself, if I want to speak to this audience, how do they best understand?
Welcome back to the Social Spotlight podcast. Here we discuss everything finance, investment, business growth, and current affairs. Here, it's been a minute. Did you miss us? I know we missed you. In this particular episode, we have something very exciting. I know many of you might have seen the larger companies who are constantly thriving in the market, even when they don't, market as much, but you keep wondering how are they doing it that we the small business owners are perhaps not doing right. So in this segment we get to learn how you and I, when I say you and I because I'm a small business owner, can build a business sales framework that works for your particular business. And I'm hosting a fine gentleman. Welcome to the show. Thank you for making time.
You're welcome.
To be here with us.
You're welcome.
Maybe now you could introduce yourself to our viewers and they get to know you a little bit.
All right. My name is Moses Mubiru, and Moses Mubiru, I'm typically a business growth expert, a business growth consultant with a special focus on helping businesses grow, with a special focus on sales and marketing, sales and business development. But away from that, I run an agency. I run Price Media, a company that focuses so much on supporting businesses when it comes to video marketing, when it comes to marketing in general. But I primarily operate as a business growth consultant. And my focus is always on sales, business development, because over the years, I noticed that after working with various companies, you find that everyone is asking for results, but they're asking for sales. So it's along that way that I ended up gravitating into more of a business growth consultant, with a specific focus on the sales and business development, because that I believe that is the most important arm. If you fix your sales, you fixed your revenue. If you fix your business development, you have fixed a lot. So precisely that is it about me.
Before we dive into today's conversation about the sales framework, we have seen small businesses struggle a lot, even when they do so much, they invest so much into marketing, but things don't seem to work out. Why is that? What causes that? What is not happening? What are we not doing right?
Okay. Now, what is funny is that, you see, small businesses are struggling and small businesses think they are struggling. But I've been lucky enough to serve small businesses, to serve medium-sized businesses, and then to serve large companies, and to serve businesses at maturity stage. And businesses are crazy struggling. And the real reason why businesses are struggling, in most cases, it traces, especially small businesses and early stage businesses and businesses at growth stage, most of their struggles can be traced down to revenue. Most of their struggles, they can be traced back to the money, you understand? Of course, when you're struggling financially, you will know that you're supposed to hire well, because the person you hire is going to contribute heavily. But when you get into the hiring marketplace and then you get all these guys apply for this particular job, there's always this person who can do the job very well. But that person is going to ask you for 3 million, 2.5, 4 million. But I mean, you can't afford that. But then there's a fresh graduate asking for 350, 500,000. You're going to go with them, and they are going to put you at their level. So one of the reasons why small businesses and other businesses struggle, they are struggling because of the revenue. They make less, so they have to operate within their means. They hire within their means, they hire within that. Wow. But then there are others whose problem is actually not money, but the problem is basically choosing the wrong people. I have an idea what it means when it comes to payment, you know? So you are paying all these guys, but you still struggle simply because you chose wrong. You get my point?
Right.
You are paying well, or you are paying fairly good, but you just hired like a pumpkin. You get my point? Someone can't really, you know, someone who can't really do that. You know? So then the third reason why businesses in most cases struggle is, again, they operate with a lot of guesswork. They operate with a lot of unclarity. There are no systems. There are no known frameworks. There are no known methods. You get my point?
Absolutely.
So there is a lot of overgrown evils that companies have, and they are tolerating. You get my point? But nevertheless, we are seeing businesses struggle right from infancy. We are seeing those in the early stages as they are crossing over into the growth stage. We are seeing them struggling. And then we are seeing mature companies struggle again with the same problems that small businesses do. You find that it's a mature company. It's been around for 20 years. It's been around for 30 years. But there are systems and processes that they've not perfected. You get my point?
Right.
So they will still be in the same cycle of struggling. And then when you look at now the entire business community, you're going to find, you get. But the thing is that the big boys, when the big boys struggle, the pain is not as, you get, as when the small ones struggle. Yeah, but nevertheless, we are seeing struggle across.
Wow. In one of your talks, I've also heard you, well, you often say that sales is not a talent problem, but, you know, a systems problem. What do you mean by that particularly?
The easiest way that I tell people that sales is not actually a talent problem is I take them to the kitchen and I tell them that anyone is capable of being a chef when you give them a recipe. Even the person who thinks they cannot cook, but when you give them the breakdown that this is how we do this entire thing. We boil the water, then we do this, then we do this, then we do that, and then we do these quantities. Anyone is in position. Why I keep telling people that it's literally, it is never about a talent thing. It is more about having a proper sales framework, a proper sales format, like steps and guidelines that make you sell. You get my point? Because once you know your product, once you know your service, once you know your programs, and you know your target audience, you can get a fresh graduate and plug them on the framework and they'll give you value. You get my point? But once you get another guy who has been in the marketplace or has been in the world of work for the last 5 years, 8 years, and then you plug them in a place where there are no systems, that guy is going to fail. You get? So for me, I personally believe that sales is not any problems that are to do with sales. They are less to do about the hire. They are more about the process that you've put in place, the system that you've put in place.
Interesting. You've kept referring to sales framework. For people out there, or even myself, who might be hearing this for the first time, what exactly is a sales framework?
Okay. Now, a sales framework, primarily the root word here is a framework.
Absolutely.
The other words that mean framework is, it's a method, it's a process. You get? I'll give you an example. My framework, everyone has a framework. When they go home, everyone has a framework when they leave home. Your framework when you go home is probably, maybe you stop at the gym and work out.
More like your routine.
Your routine, you get. So a routine is a kind of a framework of some sort. They're basically, so what a framework is a guideline, you get, is a well-structured roadmap to doing things. You get? So a framework is more of a well-framed, roadmap to doing things. It's a roadmap leading you somewhere. And when you look at the typical example of a roadmap, you will find that there are stopovers and stopovers and stopovers and stopovers. If you chose to travel from here to Gulu, and you know that you have a certain type of car, along that road, should you feel hungry, you can always stop over and pick a bite. Should you need more fuel, you can stop over and add in more fuel. So every stopover that you're going to find on the roadmap is there for a purpose.
Absolutely.
Now, If the roadmap or if the road to Gulu does not have a fuel station, you will not reach Gulu. So when I talk about the sales framework, it is just a roadmap with various stages and stopovers, and each step is very critical. That if you mess up on the first one, you're not going to see a sale. At the end of the sales framework, we have what we call closing. You get? But now, the closing stage is the stage that actually brings revenue, is the stage that brings a client, is the stage that helps you to onboard a client. Now, that is what everyone wants. So you mess up into these entire things and you want to join on closing. That is the reason you're not closing. You get my point? Because you've skipped a lot. You get? Yet when you look at the beginning of the framework, we have things like product documentation. We have things like offer development, products. You get my point? And then you are here, you run your so-called small business, you run your so-called whatever kind of business, but you have not documented what you're selling. You get my point? You step in the market and you're speaking in general terms. You're speaking generally. This is what we are doing. So figure out what you get my point.
I do.
And you know what's happening is that the big boys, the big companies, they've hidden this thing in plain sight. Like when you go to a bank of your choice, they'll give you a small flyer that specifically has what you need. They do not tell you that we are here, we give loans. They look at you and they're like, there's this entire thing about women businesses.
And you get that like, so intentional, yeah?
And then they go in their boardrooms and they're like, you know what? Let's design something for women because the jazz is about women, gender, and what. And then they come up with this loans product for women. You get my point? And they'll make sure every woman sees it. So when a woman comes in there, they're not going to look at a fleet. You know, it's a solution to do with cargo, a solution to do with, they're going to look at this entire thing. So when we talk about a framework, we are just talking about a roadmap, a methodology, an approach. You get a journey to closing a sale, which has various. So the mistake people do is that they have bits of these things. And interestingly, they have them like subconsciously they close. Subconsciously, or unconsciously, they close a deal. Unconsciously, they generate a client. Unconsciously, they onboard. You get my point? And then they go on and operate for like 1 year, 2 years on referral. And the only method giving them is referral. You get my point? That classmate of yours, that person you're with in Rotary, that BNI thing, that what? You get my point?
I do.
Yet when you look at the big brands, there is nothing like guesswork. You get, there has never been there a day where Stanbic is there and they're waiting for a referral. They have a framework in place. And when they recruit you, you are going to make the framework come to life. You get, like they onboard you like you're the tires that move. So a framework is basically like a vehicle that requires tires, that require drivers, and those drivers are the people that you hire. Yeah.
And you know, that has got me thinking. Sometimes you hire people who are really good, too good, and they get you thinking, or maybe they keep you wondering, is it the framework that is working or it's them? So as a business, how do you know that you actually have a framework that's working or it's individual effort? How do you differentiate, At what point?
Well, I keep getting that question quite a lot. The only way you can know, one of the most common ways you can know that you don't have a framework is when you're suffering with the rockstar syndrome. You get my point? Whereby you're looking at sales rock stars and you know
salesperson of the month.
You get, so you have a sales rock star that you had in 2022 who joined your company in 2016, served 2016, 17, 18, 19, and then COVID knocked him. And from 2022, you've been trying to replace that guy and you don't see it. The thing about the rock stars, because they're also rock stars, guys who know their thing. They don't know frameworks, they just know their thing. They know the products in their head, they know all the processes within them. You get, and as long as you have them, you have sales.
Or maybe on one lucky day they got lucky.
But the weakness that I see all the time, when that guy is depressed, his performance gets low and the revenue is low. When that person is not happy, your sales go low, when that person is moody, when that person is annoyed, when that person, so you are the owner of the business, but you're being held hostage. You get my point? You are the owner of the business, but there is this untouchable guy. There's this untouchable girl. Because, like, I mean, she has all the list of the clients. She knows them.
Risky
then
business.
guys, don't touch him. Guys, so you have like a small god. You get? So one of the indicators that you don't have a framework is that your sales are dependent on who? Your sales are dependent on this guy. Your sales are dependent on this girl. You get, like, when he walks out like this, the entire database of prospective clients has gone down. You get my point? When he walks out, all the deals that are in the pipeline has gone out. When I talk about a pipeline is just a line that is a channel of your clients. You get? So you've been in business for the last 2 years and you've been consistently communicating, and everything lives with that guy. It is in his diary, it is on his PC, it is where, because once we get into this entire thing, sales, there are people that are going to buy from you immediately because you're like an answered prayer to them.
Absolutely.
Then there are people that are going to buy from you next month. There are people that are going to buy from you 3 months from now. And then there are those that are going to buy from you in a year. You get? Sometimes when I go to activate people's brands, people's companies, and help them like build frameworks, I take them through like a season of like 6 months, 7 months of total boredom. But now when you have this rock star guy, this girl, this guy, and they are talented and they're doing, the moment you tamper them like this, they're going to move. Oftentimes in our community, I tell people, you see these salons, barbers, you get, they tend to be very good with hair, that when they come to your barber, your saloon, they are coming with other clients. Because the entire thing is within. So they're like, when you hire me, give me this money, and I have clients. They follow me. You get my point?
I've heard that before.
You get my point?
Yeah.
So that is the thing. One of the most common indicators that you do not have a framework is that there is always this guy you're afraid to lose, or there is always this person you're looking for to get. Then apart from the fact that you're people reliant, you're going to find that you also have not documented things.
Absolutely.
You have no offers, you have no even like if I walked in your office right now and I told you to give me a list of what you do, you start speaking general things. This is what we do, what. Yet, when you look at these other big brands, each bank has documented what they do precisely very well. You get my point? So those are some of the things that you can look at.
That is really some food for thought there. So what are some of the essential components of, a strong sales framework?
Now, the essential components of a strong sales framework, first things first, it is the generic description of what we do, what you do. So the generic description of your saloon is that we are a saloon for women who are looking for something elegant.
Absolutely.
On their head. That is the first step. Absolute clarity on what do you do generically. Then the second one, when you look into your target audience, what do they want? That is why there's a video that I did years ago, and I was telling people that find products for your clients. Do not force your products on your clients. Now, what I mean, now that you have a generic observation, now that you have a generic description precisely over everything that you're doing, you get into products development, get this entire thing in general, then begin to break it down into specific offers, specific packages. So for a salon thing, that's how you come up with a bridal package. You understand? Now you have a bridal package for people who are having Kwanjula, for people who are having maybe a wedding coming up. They have a package for that. And then you look into your target audience and you're seeing mothers with daughters. You get my point? Yeah. And then you come up with a kids package. You get my point? You're still dealing with the general. You're still dealing in hair like you claim to be. But this time round, you have a bridal package, you have a package for kids, and then you find that your saloon is located near a university or near a community that has a lot of young girls, and you look at these girls and you're like, these ones, none of them is in position of giving me hair at $100. These ones, their budget is somewhere between 70 and 100,000. Then you come up with another package that targets people with that income. Now you see, that is like the third package. And then you get to notice that probably the community where you're in, you're looking at people who have natural hair. You know, there are women who change hairstyles all the time.
Yes.
And then there are these other women.
All black women are guilty.
Now there are these other women who have reached the point of like, you know what, I'm going to keep my dreads. I'm going to keep my hair. And then the fourth package you're introducing now is becoming like something to do with people who love who love dreads. You get my point? And then you have a service for them. Now, do you notice that you have another package for taking care of people who are having natural? You get? So this is natural. So I'm not a person, I don't know these things of a salon. I'm just using general knowledge. But you notice that in about a minute or two, we are in position to document the fact that these guys do hair. We're in position to also think real quick the 6 packages that they can do. Now that you have the packages in place, the next thing you're going to do is to pause a little bit and look at each of these packages and listen to each of those packages. Because when a package is clear, that package can speak to you. You get my point? If a package is clear and it's a bridal package, there is no reason why you run a poster and take it and drop it at Makerere University, because none of those kids is actually looking forward to it. But when you look at your offer, you get the offer is broad. So you go to it in Makerere University and you're like, you know what? I'm going to sell hairs to these guys. It's not working. You get my point? Once I teach you about sales and how to build frameworks, I'll tell you even what something called client profiling, that you can profile a client who has just walked in your business for like 10 minutes, and like, this one has kids. The moment she has kids, that one you have to brief the team to handle her with care, because she has 6 more. Among the best components of a good sales framework is a good sales framework should have well-documented products. There should be a component of audience mapping. Each of the product, have you mapped it with the particular audience? Then look at those audiences and then ask yourself, if I want to speak to this audience, how do they best understand? You get my point? And then pick a working method, you know? I once was squeezed by one of the clients I happened to serve in the insurance segment. And they're like, man, we have aviation products. Why is it that you're not putting things on social media? And then I told them that, you know what, I can give you value for those things, but not, because I mean, when we talk about aviation, these guys are heavily concentrated in Entebbe.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then the simple method we came up with was, we just had to organize a high-level meeting in a particular hotel in Entebbe, and these guys collected aviation players, a very good assortment. You get my point? They had like about 100 of them in the room, took them through whatever they were saying, and they're in position to close. But people who do not have frameworks in place, they think you can use any method. You get my point? Not every method is going to work. So when it comes to the components of a good sales framework, there are many, but as long as you have the generic offer, then you have the products broken down very well. Then you look at each product and you start mapping and knowing the audiences, and then you look at the list of tactics and you deploy the right tactics. And then at the end of the day, you document it. You get my point? Even when you hire a person, you tell them, man, you are looking at your framework and you hire well. You hire based on the framework. Don't hire for fun. You get my point? The person you hire them to perform a particular role.
Oh.
So precisely, there's a lot I can say, but I'll just keep it, just give you what the fundamentals. Yeah.
Interesting. In your submission, you tapped on a lot to do with how one business can be doing, multiple services and products and services. So as my agency that does so many things, can I use the same framework, or do I need a separate for each item. Like maybe communications needs a separate one. The events needs a separate one. Like can I use one for all?
I know. I love that, and I keep getting it a lot because some businesses thrive on a single offer. You get my point? But other businesses have what we call a multi-portfolio, a multi-service portfolio. So when you find that you have more than one product, more than one service, you can bring clarity to your chaos. You can bring clarity to your chaos in that, you see what I told you earlier, that if you're going to build a sales framework for your business, it's going to start by you having that generic description of your offer. That's the generic description of your offer. Now, for your case, give me like 3 services that you do.
Communications, events planning and management, marketing. Now, you see, as you've mentioned them, they are so generic. So start with the events offer and generically describe it. Under events, what do you do? So after describing your generic offer as an events planner, events management and planning, you will notice that once we get into the segment of breaking it down, you are going to suddenly find it simple that what do the corporates want? The corporates, once in a while, corporates are planning like a staff retreat. You get my point? A team building activity. You get my point? Then that is one. They are going to have like exhibitions, periodical exhibitions. Awards.
You get. They're going to be having awards. They're going to be having
end of year parties.
Then you look in the community, and in the community you're going to find that we have social events. We have bridal showers. We have weddings. We have kwanjulas. So the product that you offer is one. You get, when they tell you randomly, you're telling people, I do events planning and management. Man, you've just spoken Chinese. You get my point? It's broad. Now break it down. You get? Now when you break it down, you start, and interestingly, if I screwed you a little more for like more 5 minutes, you're going to reflect in the last 2 years or 3 years, and there is a sector that has just liked you. You claim to be doing weddings and what, but there is just a sector that has just loved you so much.
Actually, I'm reflecting on that right now, and it makes a lot of sense.
And then as a multi-portfolio kind of business, you will know where to put your strength. You get my point? Because eventually, as an events planner, you are going to know that awards, I'm here to support anyone who has awards. I'm here to support anyone who has staff retreat. I'm here to support anyone who has like concerts. You know, there are also these big concerts, the blankets and wine, You get? I'm here to support workshops, you know, conferences. And then you all of a sudden, all along, for the last 1 year, 2, 3 years, you've been thinking that all you do is events, and then just bring an event and I smash it. This time around, you're waking up next week and you're so clear. You're like, now, when it comes to conferences, who do I talk to? You spy the internet and see how many conferences did we have last year. You get my point? Look at it. Because let me tell you this one thing. I'm a service provider. There are many service providers. Service providers have weaknesses and strengths.
Absolutely.
You get my point? So if you get to know my clients and you check on them and see how I messed them up, that would be opportunity. You get my point? So for example, now in your business, if you wanted to take the framework game to the next level, it's just going to be a date out with yourself. You get? At one of your favorite cafes, just sit there with your laptop, right? You're like, this is the generic description. Who can I do? You get my point? Come up with a list of like 10 offers. Like I said, sometimes you need me, sometimes you don't need me for thinking. Sometimes you just have to put a clear offer and listen to that offer. That offer will tell you. You get, if you have one of the events you do is weddings, you're like, now how do I do this? You get? And then you pick on another service line, because you mentioned 3. There is communications and there is marketing. You get my point? I've seen you do a certain wine company that was like launching what there.
There was offshore vodka, there was vodka cruiser, and then tequila lay.
Exactly. So you find that there are companies that are launching, you get, that are launching new products online. And trust me, with your intelligence in the market, you have an idea where they are. But if the only thing that you can add to yourself is when you document precisely, you get step 1, generic offer, well written. Step 2, break down the offer into consumable pieces. Begin to reflect on each of those offers. Now, for each offer you've put in place, you are going to effortlessly know who to sell. If you're stuck, you Google. If you're stuck, you call me. If you're stuck, you ask your team. You know, you're like, guys, how do we sell this thing? Sometimes you have a service portfolio of 3 things, but under those 3 things, you have about 30 offers. And trust me, if you picked out 1, 2, 3, you're sorted. You get my point? But now another reason, back to the similar question that you said, why we tend to struggle when there is no clarity. This time around you're drumming weddings, the other time you're doing baby showers, then the other time you get my point?
Even people get confused.
People get confused. And you know, let me tell you, there is nothing that is as confusing as small business, like small deals. Every offer you're going to put in place, you're going to need a specific framework. Precisely, that's it. If you multi-portfolio business, it's going to be multi-portfolio what? Frameworks.
Frameworks.
Yeah.
That's quite insightful.
But the reason why we keep misfiring in the sales department in hiring for salespeople is that we don't have frameworks. So the real reason why, let me give you the picture of hiring for the sales department without a sales framework. You're going to witness a lot of turnover. I normally have these uncomfortable conversations with these C-suite executives. I'm like, look at every time you are switching salespeople, do not blame them. Your sales framework is questionable. Because if it's not questionable and you have a proper framework in place, you are going to look at that framework and you are going to, because the framework has about 7 stages, other businesses, it has like about 12 stages. Man, it is very hard for you to find an employee who can perform all those 12 stages. It is very hard, but you can find that you get a person who can perform the 3. If you look in the recent history, we have a new role. We have a role, there's a new role called the lead generation specialist.
I think I've seen it around.
Person has been hired to generate leads. He has not been hired to close. He has not been hired to do customer care. He has not been hired to do client service. For him, his role is to generate the leads. That means he wakes up, gets on the internet, and then he figures out ways of getting the leads. And then his deliverable is as clear as these are the number of leads generated. You pass it over to the next person. Because sometimes the person with the strength in lead generation is not necessarily a person with strength in lead nurturing. Because once a lead is generated, if it's not converted immediately and converted into a sale, then it has to be nurtured.
Okay.
Now I can nurture you as a client by giving you a free this, a free this, a test this, a free audit here, free this. I am nurturing you. You get I'm not extending free service. You get my point? I'm only nurturing you. I'm adding value to you. After 6 months, after 9 months, after 1 year, like, man, we've gotten a lot of value from this guy. Let's give him the deal. You get my point? So you find that there is lead generation, there is lead nurturing, then there is conversion, there is presentation, there is what? You get? There is pitching. All those are various various stages of the framework. If you are bored by the entire thing, the number one thing that you have to do, find me or find this knowledge or find a bade and tell them, man, let's design this framework. If someone asked you, maybe you're going to give them maybe like $2,000, maybe $3,000 or $5,000 to sit down with you for a week to help you figure out this piece of the puzzle once and for all, it's better. Because if you continuously, the amount of money you're going to waste in hiring wrong is not compared to the amount of money you're going to spend in getting a consultant, getting a specialist to sit down with you. You get my point? So in most cases, the owners of the businesses know these things. The only problem is that they know them subconsciously. You get, they are there, but they need someone to work with them. What was your first deal? How did you bring it on board? See, then you find that the 30 deals you've brought in, they've always been subconsciously following a particular method. Document that, and you will know that this is my framework. It has about 10 stages. I'm not looking for one person. I'm looking for 3 people. You get? Person 1 must have strength in this and this. Person 2 must have the strength here, here, here. And then person 3 must have this. You design their salaries. The day you plug them into the system, in a space of 90 days, you will fall in love with them. And you know, when a business begins to build these frameworks, even you confuse the people. You get my point? Who work in the framework, they feel like, man, I'm the one bringing the results.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is that it's not them. It is the framework. So when one of those guys feels like he's big and he's walking away, but he's walking away with, he left a CRM. What a CRM is a customer relationship management system. It has all the data. When another person comes in this, like once I say a framework has to be in place, you have SOPs, standard operating procedures, you have guidelines, like man, every client that comes on board, you have to update. Now, as the supervisor or the business owner, your role is to just log in. Just get your laptop, check into the CRM system. When that guy leaves, bless him, let him go, but he has gone with nothing. You get my point? Bring another person. And I'm noticing that for companies that have even ability, they're even getting CRM specialists. His role is to pay attention to the CRM. They're all monitored in one place. You get? So that is why, for me, I am a firm believer in the fact that before you hire for any role in the sales and business development unit, you must have a framework in place.
Wow. That's quite interesting. It keeps me wondering what we have been doing all along. A small business. Oh, indeed, we shall be well. If a business owner listening in now, would want to start building a sales framework, what are the 3 key things, the top core things that they should probably look out for?
The 2 core things that you're going to like. Well, every time I speak about it, it sounds easy. I pass it over to people and then they're like, man, Moses, it's been like 3 months.
Have you seen that meme of where the numbers are just, yeah, that is what is happening. Like the numbers are just flowing through the screen.
You see, at the beginning of the year, we had a CEO breakfast meeting. And one lady was like convinced, she was like, man, Moses, this thing that you've given me is ballistic. I'm going to try this out. Man, month 1, month 2, month 3, then she called me like, Moses, what did you say? But anyway, the foundation of building a sales framework starts from seeking for clarity. Seeking for clarity starts from documenting your generic offers. You have 3 product lines, like you have 3 generic offers, document them. Step 2, get into product development. Look at the target audiences and generate. You get my point? And then because that is what they should do. You get? They have to start by really having it documented. They go ahead on the next step of just designing offers, designing packages. I mean, the things I'm telling you right now, a person in the hotel industry applies them differently. It's the same thing, but they apply it differently. A person who is into dog training is going to apply it different. You get? So once you have the clarity of your value proposition, the generic offer, and then you move on to step 2 and you have documented, you have documented different offers, different products and services. Then the 3rd thing is now to do what we call audience mapping. Pay attention to each of your product lines and then start mapping. You get my point? If you just know this one is for this one, then after audience mapping, ask one more question. How does this audience receive information? Now, for this audience, we're going to use this TikTok. For this audience, we are going to use webinars. You get? For this audience, we are going to use podcasts. For this audience, we are going to use radio. For this audience, we are going to use TV. You get my point? Your audience dictates your style of communication. I sometimes I want to scream this and just tell people, do not do, because you found very active on TikTok and then is said like the friend of yours who sells the
attire,
the attires and what, you find that she's doing well by showcasing her products on TikTok, and then you also come and then you want to use her method. Her method is tailored because she's informed. You get? So if you have your products have been documented, your offers have been developed, then you've identified your audience, then figure out the best communication style that you're going to use. You get the best communications approach. You get there are people, there are businesses that can't afford, that can't do without running ads, and the framework says it, that for us we have to be running ads, you know. I think recently I was giving people a case study of a client of mine who literally has 90 clients with zero active social media presence, 90 employees. He has about 90 to 100 employees as we talk. But there is nothing going on his social media. There is nothing going on.
What business are they into?
That one I'll leave it. You get my point? He's doing nothing on those platforms.
Wow.
But when I was having a chat with him years ago, we designed a framework that brings business to him. But for me, I feel like those are some of the businesses that should be bullying us. Wow. Zero thing on social media, zero LinkedIn. You know how founders are getting on pressure that we need to be resonating and opinionating on YouTube, on what? This guy is saying nothing. Thought leadership, zero.
Wow.
But I tell you this because I work closely with him. He has a team of about 90 to 100. I say 90 to 100 because they keep leaving. You get, so they have like 97, 90, slightly 100.
It's a big team.
Yeah. So if it's a big team and none of those guys is young, when you look at the entire staff profile, there is no one who is below 27. You get, it means it's paying them well. They have a framework that brings value. So for any entrepreneur, for any decision maker, and you are convinced in the fact that you need a framework, starting place is going to be documenting what you're doing, developing the offers, mapping out your audiences, and then at the end of the day, record the pattern that has actually, because a framework is a pattern. Yeah, so for any person who wants to really, an entrepreneur, any business person, any decision maker, who is reliably convinced that they need a sales framework in the business, and they want to do it themselves, the first thing they have to do is to document what they are doing, and then go ahead and break what they've documented. The generic offer, go ahead and break it into products and packages. And then after having those, look at each of those offers they've generated, and they begin to match the relevant audience. As long as you have your well-documented audience for each of these offers, the next thing is now to look into the forest of tactics, or ask the first question. This target audience, how do they best receive information? If you figure out that there is a particular audience that you can reach best using radio advert, then that product and service, you're going to have a budget line for adverts because there is a product. You get my point?
Yeah. And
then after having that, then look into the entire forest of the various tactics, you know? What really breaks my heart and what makes me feel sorry is that I see a lot of businesses.
For our businesses? Or
sorry for how people are doing business.
Oh, okay.
Is that they choose the most dominant tactic. I'm telling you, there are about 50 plus tactics you can use in your marketing. But why is it that everything you're doing is TikTok?
Because
for
it's trending.
You, everything is about TikTok. You get my point? Why is it that, let me tell you, there is a product that is going to inspire you to hold a mini workshop for your organization for a day, teach them. And at the end of you teaching them a thing, you have literally secured like 20 of them. You get, sometimes it's going to be an online webinar, sometimes it's going to be a physical workshop. Sometimes it's going to be pop-up expos. You know that we have different malls around Kampala. Go to Acacia Mall, ask for permission, put a table there, do trials and testing and what. Sometimes the other method is partnership. So there are many things. You get my point? But once you have everything documented and you start approaching your marketing with this line of, I want to do only what is relevant to this. If it worked for product A, then it may not work for this. You get? So for anyone who wants to start this entire thing, that is my recommendation, look at these other methods and explore. You get? TikTok is one of them, Facebook is one of them, and Instagram. But I want to remind you that is not all. There are other methods. Sometimes all you need is a partnership with a similar company, do a thing together and close. You get my point? Because a partnership comes that if there is anything that requires money, you bring some, he brings some. You get my point? Bring a fusion for the two. You get my point? So precisely that is what I would say. But again, I encourage people that this information is available. And we are here. Me, in my role, that's what I do. I help businesses build frameworks. You get? I'll either do it, give you an in-house training, or you will come for the general trainings. You get my point? Because at the end of the day, I want to be more relevant in what you do. I want to see, because I noticed that the best way I can be more relevant is when I help you to sell more. Because should I propose to you that I need to offer a thing, you will buy it because you have the resources.
Absolutely. As we close, is there anything you feel a business person watching this should probably be their biggest take home?
The biggest take home for any person that may be watching this any day. Now, this is irrespective of the size of your business. You get my point? I've been lucky to work with colleagues of mine that are just leaving the world of employment and they are starting a consultancy and all he has is him. I've been lucky to have worked with companies that have a team of 5. I've been lucky to work with a company that has a team of 20, a team of 50. And me, I know that they're all struggling. You get my point?
Right, absolutely.
So any decision maker that is working on this, I just want you to want to remind you one thing. I am aware about the relevance of human resource. I am aware about the relevance of the people. But I'm totally aware that the main reason why you're not hiring well, you get my point, is that you are hiring in direct proportion with how much you are willing to part away, how much you're willing to offer. So you find that if we can fix our business development units, if we can fix our sales development units, we've fixed a lot. So any person that is watching this entire thing is one thing. Do you have a framework? Do you have a framework? Or you are at the mercies of the people that you hire? So any person that may be watching, the only thing that I want them to walk out with is one thing. You need a framework. You need a sales framework. You need a master framework for your business, but you also need specific frameworks for each of these things, because the framework is the only thing that is going to make the department bring results. You get? The earlier you realize that you don't need a top performer, but you need a best performing framework, that better. Because it is totally pointless hiring a guy whom you know that his destiny could be somewhere else. You get my point?
Right.
He's here for 3 years. You get my point? His dream is to work in a company better than yours. In fact, he came to your company for purposes of getting experience and is calculative, And after working with you for 2 years, he has been actively applying for jobs. You get? So do not, any person watching this, do not be at the mercy of that sales guy. You get? Do not be at the mercy of that salesperson. Just know that if they are good, use them to build the framework. If they are good, do not hate them, but use them to build the framework. Document that their best practices, let their best practices be documented, that when they leave, you get my point? They leave with something behind. But let them live with joy. Let them live knowing that we have a method of generating. When it comes to ourselves in this company, this is how we generate leads. When it comes to nurturing leads, this is how we nurture the leads. When it comes to confronting and approaching clients, this is our method. You get my point? One thing I like about having frameworks in place, there is productivity, because a guy has been hired and then the job description is clear and then his numbers are different. You get? Some people, they are talking about numbers in terms of revenue, but there's this other person who reports number of phone calls made, number of prospective clients identified, number of emails sent, number of meetings secured, number. He's not talking about, but his role is to just do those.
Right.
Today, I generated 10 leads for us. This is the lead profile. Then we made this number of phone calls. We secured this number of meetings. What? Then you will find another person with presentation strength based on your framework. And then that guy is going to report things like number of presentations made, number of clients, number of turn downs, number of what. Then when you've presented 30 times and people are saying, you know, you have another in-house meeting, you're like, now what is going wrong? You get my point? Because there is a guy whose role is to generate leads, there's another one whose role is to engage, you get? And then you ask yourself, our products, what is the best way? Have you ever seen companies that are doing a lot of webinars?
Yes.
They've discovered that is a process. They're not doing anything in service to humanity. They are doing a thing which works for them. I'm a firm believer in that, is that a webinar is a gated event. People have to have access. Register your name and email. You get? Now that you've registered your name and email, but then on your organogram you have a communications officer, then the communications officer can probably turn into the nurturer. You get? After 1 year of holding webinars, trust me, you will never have a webinar below 500 people. I've been in some of these webinars of Enterprise Uganda and other companies. Every webinar, you look at participants, they are 600. You see like 600 plus, 700 plus.
Wow.
But they've been doing it for a while.
Absolutely, yeah.
So any person that is watching this entire thing, just to know that you do not deserve to be at the mercy. You don't deserve to be at the mercy of the person you think is good. You get? You have to have a framework and keep perfecting the framework. Do not be afraid to spend when it comes to building a framework, because the only thing that is going to serve you is to have a strong framework, a strong sales framework. Do everything to add to that framework, because every son of man, every girl, every boy you're going to bring on your team, they are going to thrive because they are coming with clarity. They are coming to play a part. Clarity is seen all over. You get? They know their role, they know their place, so you are hiring for the place. So basically, that's it for me for now.
Wow. Thank you so much for making time. You know, it's always amazing learning from you. And I'm glad that our audience now gets to tap into your wealth of, of knowledge and expertise. Patronize him. Patronize him. He's so knowledgeable. There is so much you can learn from him. And I mean, you can tell from the quality of, what he's saying. There is literally so much you can learn, and be intentional. Yeah. May the rest of the year be a season of intentionality, where you are going to start by having a date with yourself and your business. And now I'm speaking to the small business owners like myself. Go have a date with your business. Yeah. Let us grow together. And who knows, by next year we could be, claiming to be middle status businesses. Yeah. And I have been your host, V. Thank you for always watching our content. If you have loved this one, and just like all the others, you know what to do. Subscribe.